Act on.
Act on.
뭐뭐에 따라 행동하다.
The police acted on the information they received.
The police acted on the information they received.
경찰은 받은 정보에 따라 행동했다.
He acted on his lawyer's advice and remained silent.
He acted on his lawyer's advice and remained silent.
그는 변호사의 조언에 따라 침묵을 유지했다.
We should act on our teacher's recommendations.
We should act on our teacher's recommendations.
우리는 선생님의 추천을 따라야 한다.
Act out.
Act out.
감정을 행동으로 표현하다, 재현하다.
She acted out her frustration by slamming the door.
She acted out her frustration by slamming the door.
그녀는 문을 세게 닫으며 좌절감을 행동으로 표현했다.
The children acted out their favorite fairy tale in class.
The children acted out their favorite fairy tale in class.
아이들은 수업 중에 좋아하는 동화를 연기했다.
He tends to act out when he is upset.
He tends to act out when he is upset.
그는 화가 나면 감정을 행동으로 표현하는 경향이 있다.
Act up.
Act up.
말썽을 부리다.
My computer is acting up again.
My computer is acting up again.
내 컴퓨터가 또 말썽을 부리고 있다.
His knee started acting up after the long walk.
His knee started acting up after the long walk.
긴 산책 후 그의 무릎이 말썽을 부리기 시작했다.
The kids always act up when they are tired.
The kids always act up when they are tired.
아이들은 피곤하면 항상 말을 안 듣는다.
Add up.
Add up.
말이 되다 합산하다.
His story doesn't add up.
His story doesn't add up.
그의 이야기는 앞뒤가 맞지 않는다.
If you add up all the expenses, it's quite expensive.
If you add up all the expenses, it's quite expensive.
모든 비용을 합산하면 꽤 비싸다.
The clues don't add up to a clear conclusion.
The clues don't add up to a clear conclusion.
단서들이 명확한 결론을 내릴 만큼 맞아떨어지지 않는다.
Add up to.
Add up to.
총합이 가 되다.
The bills add up to $200.
The bills add up to $200.
청구서 총액이 $200가 된다.
His actions add up to betrayal.
His actions add up to betrayal.
그의 행동은 결국 배신이 된다.
All these small efforts add up to big results.
All these small efforts add up to big results.
이런 작은 노력들이 모여 큰 결과를 만든다.
Agree with.
Agree with.
뭐뭐에 동의하다.
I agree with your opinion.
I agree with your opinion.
나는 내 의견에 동의해.
She doesn't agree with his decision.
She doesn't agree with his decision.
그녀는 그의 결정에 동의하지 않는다.
The data agrees with our hypothesis.
The data agrees with our hypothesis.
데이터가 우리의 가설과 일치한다.
Aim at.
Aim at.
뭐뭐를 목표로 하다.
The campaign aims at reducing waste.
The campaign aims at reducing waste.
이 캠페인은 쓰레기 줄이기를 목표로 한다.
He aimed at the target and fired.
He aimed at the target and fired.
그는 표적을 겨냥하고 발사했다.
The new policy aims at improving education.
The new policy aims at improving education.
새로운 정책은 교육 개선을 목표로 한다.
Allow for.
Allow for.
뭐뭐를 고려하다, 감안하다.
You need to allow for traffic when planning your trip.
You need to allow for traffic when planning your trip.
여행 계획을 세울 때 교통 체증을 고려해야 한다.
The budget allows for unexpected expenses.
The budget allows for unexpected expenses.
예산에는 예상치 못한 비용이 포함되어 있다.
Allow for some delay due to bad weather.
Allow for some delay due to bad weather.
악천후로 인한 지연을 고려해야 한다.
Answer back.
Answer back.
말대꾸하다.
Don't answer back to your parents.
Don't answer back to your parents.
부모님께 말대꾸하지 마라.
He got in trouble for answering back to the teacher.
He got in trouble for answering back to the teacher.
그는 선생님께 말대꾸해서 혼이 났다.
The child answered back rudely.
The child answered back rudely.
아이가 무례하게 말대꾸했다.
Answer for.
Answer for.
책임을 지다.
You must answer for your mistakes.
You must answer for your mistakes.
너는 내 실수에 대해 책임을 져야 한다.
The manager had to answer for the company's failure.
The manager had to answer for the company's failure.
매니저는 회사의 실패에 대해 책임을 져야 했다.
He will answer for his crimes in court.
He will answer for his crimes in court.
그는 법정에서 자신의 범죄에 대해 책임을 질 것이다.
Apply for.
Apply for.
신청하다.
I applied for a job at a tech company.
I applied for a job at a tech company.
나는 IT 회사에 지원했다.
She applied for a visa last month.
She applied for a visa last month.
그녀는 지난달에 비자를 신청했다.
He applied for a scholarship to study abroad.
He applied for a scholarship to study abroad.
그는 유학 장학금을 신청했다.
Ask about.
Ask about.
뭐뭐에 대해 묻다.
He asked about your health.
He asked about your health.
그는 너의 건강에 대해 물었다.
She asked about the price of the laptop.
She asked about the price of the laptop.
그녀는 노트북 가격에 대해 물었다.
They asked about the meeting schedule.
They asked about the meeting schedule.
그들은 회의 일정에 대해 물었다.
Ask after.
Ask after.
누구의 안부를 묻다.
He asked after your father.
He asked after your father.
그는 너의 아버지 안부를 물었다.
My friend called to ask after me.
My friend called to ask after me.
내 친구가 내 안부를 묻기 위해 전화했다.
She always asks after my family when we meet.
She always asks after my family when we meet.
그녀는 만날 때마다 내 가족 안부를 묻는다.
Ask around.
Ask around.
여기저기 물어보다.
I asked around, but no one knew the answer.
I asked around, but no one knew the answer.
나는 여기저기 물어봤지만 아무도 답을 몰랐다.
She asked around for recommendations on good restaurants.
She asked around for recommendations on good restaurants.
그녀는 맛집 추천을 여기저기 물어봤다.
You should ask around before making a decision.
You should ask around before making a decision.
결정을 내리기 전에 여기저기 물어보는 게 좋아.
Ask for.
Ask for.
뭐뭐를 요청하다.
He asked for help with his homework.
He asked for help with his homework.
그는 숙제 도움을 요청했다.
She asked for a glass of water.
She asked for a glass of water.
그녀는 물 한 잔을 요청했다.
They asked for a refund.
They asked for a refund.
그들은 환불을 요청했다.
Ask in.
Ask in.
초대하다.
She asked me in for a cup of coffee.
She asked me in for a cup of coffee.
그녀는 나를 커피 한 잔 마시러 집 안으로 초대했다.
He asked his guests in.
He asked his guests in.
그는 손님들을 집 안으로 들였다.
I was asked in for a quick chat.
I was asked in for a quick chat.
나는 잠깐 이야기하러 집 안으로 초대받았다.
Ask out.
Ask out.
데이트 신청하다.
He finally asked her out.
He finally asked her out.
그는 마침내 그녀에게 데이트 신청했다.
She was nervous about asking him out.
She was nervous about asking him out.
그녀는 그에게 데이트 신청하는 것이 긴장되었다.
I asked her out for dinner.
I asked her out for dinner.
나는 그녀에게 저녁 식사를 하자고 했다.
Ask over.
Ask over.
집으로 초대하다.
She asked me over for lunch.
She asked me over for lunch.
그녀는 나를 점심 먹으러 집으로 초대했다.
We asked our friends over for a party.
We asked our friends over for a party.
우리는 친구들을 파티에 초대했다.
He asked his colleagues over after work.
He asked his colleagues over after work.
그는 퇴근 후 동료들을 집으로 초대했다.
Ask up.
Ask up.
위층으로 부르다.
She asked him up to her apartment.
She asked him up to her apartment.
그녀는 그를 아파트 위층으로 불렀다.
He asked me up to show me his new room.
He asked me up to show me his new room.
그는 새 방을 보여주려고 나를 위층으로 불렀다.
They asked us up for tea.
They asked us up for tea.
그들은 우리를 차 한잔하러 위층으로 초대했다.
Argue for.
Argue for.
뭐뭐를 지지하는 논쟁을 하다.
She argued for more funding in education.
She argued for more funding in education.
그녀는 교육에 대한 더 많은 자금을 요구하며 논쟁했다.
He argued for stricter environmental laws.
He argued for stricter environmental laws.
그는 더 엄격한 환경법을 주장했다.
The lawyer argued for his client's innocence.
The lawyer argued for his client's innocence.
변호사는 의뢰인의 무죄를 주장했다.
Argue against.
Argue against.
뭐뭐에 반대하는 논쟁을 하다.
They argued against the new policy.
They argued against the new policy.
그들은 새로운 정책에 반대하는 논쟁을 했다.
He argued against spending too much money.
He argued against spending too much money.
그는 과도한 지출에 반대했다.
She argued against the proposal in the meeting.
She argued against the proposal in the meeting.
그녀는 회의에서 그 제안에 반대했다.
Arise from.
Arise from.
뭐뭐에서 발생하다.
Many health issues arise from poor diet.
Many health issues arise from poor diet.
많은 건강 문제는 잘못된 식습관에서 발생한다.
The conflict arose from a misunderstanding.
The conflict arose from a misunderstanding.
그 갈등은 오해에서 비롯되었다.
Problems arise from lack of communication.
Problems arise from lack of communication.
문제는 의사소통 부족에서 발생한다.
Arrive at.
Arrive at.
도달하다.
They arrived at a decision after long discussions.
They arrived at a decision after long discussions.
그들은 긴 논의 끝에 결정을 내렸다.
The jury arrived at a verdict.
The jury arrived at a verdict.
배심원단은 평결을 내렸다.
We arrived at a compromise.
We arrived at a compromise.
우리는 타협점에 도달했다.
Ask to.
Ask to.
뭐뭐 할 것을 요청하다.
He asked to see the manager.
He asked to see the manager.
그는 매니저를 만나고 싶다고 요청했다.
She asked to leave early.
She asked to leave early.
그녀는 일찍 떠날 수 있도록 요청했다.
They asked to change their seats.
They asked to change their seats.
그들은 자리를 바꿀 수 있도록 요청했다.
Attend to.
Attend to.
뭐뭐를 돌보다, 신경 쓰다.
The nurse attended to the patient.
The nurse attended to the patient.
간호사는 환자를 돌보았다.
He attended to his work carefully.
He attended to his work carefully.
그는 자신의 일을 신중하게 처리했다.
She attended to the guest's needs.
She attended to the guest's needs.
그녀는 손님의 필요를 챙겼다.
Attribute to.
Attribute to.
뭐뭐의 결과로 보다.
He attributed his success to hard work.
He attributed his success to hard work.
그는 자신의 성공을 노력 덕분이라고 여겼다.
The accident was attributed to driver error.
The accident was attributed to driver error.
그 사고는 운전자의 실수 때문이라고 여겨졌다.
Scientists attribute climate change to pollution.
Scientists attribute climate change to pollution.
과학자들은 기후 변화를 오염 때문이라고 본다.
Average out.
Average out.
평균을 내다.
The total cost averages out to $50 per person.
The total cost averages out to $50 per person.
총 비용은 1인당 평균 $10가 된다.
The temperatures average out over the year.
The temperatures average out over the year.
온도는 1년 동안 평균적으로 일정하다.
If you study regularly, your grades will average out.
If you study regularly, your grades will average out.
규칙적으로 공부하면 성적이 평균적으로 안정될 것이다.
Act for.
Act for.
뭐뭐를 대신하다.
The lawyer acted for his client in court.
The lawyer acted for his client in court.
변호사는 법정에서 의뢰인을 대신해 행동했다.
She acted for her manager while he was on leave.
She acted for her manager while he was on leave.
그녀는 매니저가 휴가 중일 때 그를 대신해 일했다.
The vice president acted for the president during his absence.
The vice president acted for the president during his absence.
부사장은 대통령이 부재 중일 때 그를 대신해 역할을 수행했다.
Account for.
Account for.
비율을 차지하다, 설명하다.
Women account for 60% of the workforce.
Women account for 60% of the workforce.
여성은 노동력의 60%를 차지한다.
His explanation accounts for the missing money.
His explanation accounts for the missing money.
그의 설명이 사라진 돈에 대한 이유를 설명한다.
Imports account for a large portion of the economy.
Imports account for a large portion of the economy.
수입품은 경제의 큰 부분을 차지한다.
Agree on.
Agree on.
뭐뭐에 대해 합의하다.
They agreed on the terms of the contract.
They agreed on the terms of the contract.
그들은 계약 조건에 대해 합의했다.
We couldn't agree on where to go for dinner.
We couldn't agree on where to go for dinner.
우리는 저녁을 어디에서 먹을지 합의하지 못했다.
The two sides finally agreed on a solution.
The two sides finally agreed on a solution.
양측은 마침내 해결책에 합의했다.
Adhere to.
Adhere to.
뭐뭐를 고수하다.
He adheres to his beliefs strongly.
He adheres to his beliefs strongly.
그는 자신의 신념을 강하게 고수한다.
Employees must adhere to company policies.
Employees must adhere to company policies.
직원들은 회사 정책을 준수해야 한다.
The organization adheres to strict ethical standards.
The organization adheres to strict ethical standards.
그 조직은 엄격한 윤리 기준을 준수한다.
Adjust to.
Adjust to.
뭐뭐에 적응하다.
He quickly adjusted to his new job.
He quickly adjusted to his new job.
그는 새 직장에 빠르게 적응했다.
It took her a while to adjust to the new culture.
It took her a while to adjust to the new culture.
그녀는 새로운 문화에 적응하는 데 시간이 걸렸다.
They are adjusting to life in a new city.
They are adjusting to life in a new city.
그들은 새로운 도시에서의 삶에 적응하고 있다.
Allow of.
Allow of.
뭐뭐를 가능하게 하다.
The rules do not allow of any exceptions.
The rules do not allow of any exceptions.
규칙은 어떤 예외도 허용하지 않는다.
The evidence allows of only one conclusion.
The evidence allows of only one conclusion.
증거는 단 하나의 결론만을 가능하게 한다.
His actions allow of no misunderstanding.
His actions allow of no misunderstanding.
그의 행동은 어떤 오해도 허용하지 않는다.
Answer to.
Answer to.
에 답하다, 에 반응하다.
He answers to the manager.
He answers to the manager.
그는 매니저에게 보고한다.
The company must answer to its shareholders.
The company must answer to its shareholders.
그 회사는 주주들에게 답해야 한다.
She answers to no one but herself.
She answers to no one but herself.
그녀는 자신 외에는 누구에게도 답하지 않는다.
Argue over.
Argue over.
뭐뭐에 대해 논쟁하다.
They argued over the best way to solve the problem.
They argued over the best way to solve the problem.
그들은 문제를 해결하는 최선의 방법에 대해 논쟁했다.
The siblings argued over who would use the computer first.
The siblings argued over who would use the computer first.
형제들은 누가 먼저 컴퓨터를 사용할지에 대해 다퉜다.
The politicians argued over the budget.
The politicians argued over the budget.
정치인들은 예산에 대해 논쟁했다.
Arrive in.
Arrive in.
도착하다.
They arrived in Paris early in the morning.
They arrived in Paris early in the morning.
그들은 아침 일찍 파리에 도착했다.
She arrived in Japan last week.
She arrived in Japan last week.
그녀는 지난주 일본에 도착했다.
We arrived in New York after a long flight.
We arrived in New York after a long flight.
우리는 긴 비행 끝에 뉴욕에 도착했다.
Ask over.
Ask over.
초대하다.
I asked my friend over for dinner.
I asked my friend over for dinner.
나는 친구를 저녁 식사에 초대했다.
They asked us over for a movie night.
They asked us over for a movie night.
그들은 우리를 영화의 밤에 초대했다.
She asked her coworkers over for coffee.
She asked her coworkers over for coffee.
그녀는 직장 동료들을 커피 마시러 초대했다.
Attend on.
Attend on.
시중 들다, 돌보다.
The nurse attended on the elderly patients.
The nurse attended on the elderly patients.
간호사는 노인 환자들을 돌봤다.
The servant attended on the queen.
The servant attended on the queen.
하인은 여왕을 시중 들었다.
She attended on her sick mother.
She attended on her sick mother.
그녀는 아픈 어머니를 돌봤다.
Act upon.
Act upon.
뭐뭐에 영향을 미치다.
The government acted upon the recommendations of experts.
The government acted upon the recommendations of experts.
정부는 전문가들의 권고에 따라 행동했다.
The medicine acts upon the nervous system.
The medicine acts upon the nervous system.
그 약은 신경계에 영향을 미친다.
He decided to act upon his instincts.
He decided to act upon his instincts.
그는 자신의 직감에 따라 행동하기로 했다.
Apply to.
Apply to.
지원하다.
She applied to 3 universities.
She applied to 3 universities.
그녀는 3개의 대학교에 지원했다.
He applied to a new company for a job.
He applied to a new company for a job.
그는 새로운 회사에 취업을 지원했다.
They applied to the government for financial aid.
They applied to the government for financial aid.
그들은 정부에 재정 지원을 신청했다.
Add in.
Add in.
포함시키다.
Don't forget to add in the tax when calculating the price.
Don't forget to add in the tax when calculating the price.
가격을 계산할 때 세금을 포함하는 것을 잊지 마세요.
She added in a few more details to her report.
She added in a few more details to her report.
그녀는 보고서에 몇 가지 세부 사항을 추가했다.
Can you add in some extra cheese?
Can you add in some extra cheese?
치즈를 좀 더 추가해 줄 수 있나요?
Act under.
Act under.
행동하다.
The employees acted under strict guidelines.
The employees acted under strict guidelines.
직원들은 엄격한 지침에 따라 행동했다.
He acted under orders from his boss.
He acted under orders from his boss.
그는 상사의 명령에 따라 행동했다.
They acted under the law.
They acted under the law.
그들은 법에 따라 행동했다.
Argue down.
Argue down.
논박해서 이기다.
She argued him down during the debate.
She argued him down during the debate.
그녀는 토론에서 그를 논박해서 이겼다.
He argued down his opponent with strong evidence.
He argued down his opponent with strong evidence.
그는 강력한 증거로 상대를 논박했다.
They tried to argue him down, but he stood his ground.
They tried to argue him down, but he stood his ground.
그들은 그를 논박하려 했지만 그는 굽히지 않았다.
Agree to.
Agree to.
받아들이다.
They agreed to the terms of the contract.
They agreed to the terms of the contract.
그들은 계약 조건을 받아들였다.
He agreed to help with the project.
He agreed to help with the project.
그는 프로젝트를 돕기로 동의했다.
She agreed to go on a trip with them.
She agreed to go on a trip with them.
그녀는 그들과 여행을 가기로 동의했다.
Aim for.
Aim for.
뭐뭐를 목표로 하다.
She is aiming for a promotion this year.
She is aiming for a promotion this year.
그녀는 올해 승진을 목표로 하고 있다.
The company aims for higher sales next quarter.
The company aims for higher sales next quarter.
그 회사는 다음 분기에 더 높은 매출을 목표로 하고 있다.
He aimed for the basket and took the shot.
He aimed for the basket and took the shot.
그는 바구니를 목표로 하고 슛을 던졌다.
Add on.
Add on.
추가하다.
They added on a new room to their house.
They added on a new room to their house.
그들은 집에 새로운 방을 추가했다.
Can you add on a few more details to the report?
Can you add on a few more details to the report?
보고서에 몇 가지 세부 사항을 추가해 줄 수 있나요?
The mobile plan allows you to add on extra data.
The mobile plan allows you to add on extra data.
그 모바일 요금제는 추가 데이터를 추가할 수 있다.
Act fast.
Act fast.
신속히 행동하다.
We need to act fast before the opportunity disappears.
We need to act fast before the opportunity disappears.
우리는 기회가 사라지기 전에 신속히 행동해야 한다.
The firefighters acted fast to put out the fire.
The firefighters acted fast to put out the fire.
소방관들은 불을 끄기 위해 신속히 행동했다.
If you want to get the best deals, you must act fast.
If you want to get the best deals, you must act fast.
최고의 할인 혜택을 받고 싶다면 신속히 행동해야 한다.
Act as.
Act as.
뭐뭐의 역할을 하다.
She acted as a translator during the meeting.
She acted as a translator during the meeting.
그녀는 회의에서 통역사 역할을 했다.
This bridge acts as a connection between the two cities.
This bridge acts as a connection between the two cities.
이 다리는 두 도시를 연결하는 역할을 한다.
He acted as the team leader while the manager was away.
He acted as the team leader while the manager was away.
매니저가 없는 동안 그는 팀 리더 역할을 했다.
Admit to.
Admit to.
뭐뭐를 인정하다.
He admitted to making a mistake.
He admitted to making a mistake.
그는 실수를 했음을 인정했다.
She admitted to lying about her age.
She admitted to lying about her age.
그녀는 나이에 대해 거짓말했음을 인정했다.
They admitted to breaking the rules.
They admitted to breaking the rules.
그들은 규칙을 어겼음을 인정했다.